YouTube, it's your boy Grant back. I just wanted to holler at you guys, man. I got some more updates for the car. So we're back in the garage, back to doing some mods. Hopefully everybody's been doing well. Everybody's been in quarantine, so hopefully no one's been sick. Hopefully you and your family are great. But like I said, want to try to see if we can bring you guys some more content. One of the things that I have absolutely missed on this car since the day I bought it was the drive control module. So some people out there say that they didn't even know that the 535 came, some models came without a drive control module, and this one happens to be one that did not have the drive control module. So I went on eBay, ended up picking one up for $35, and today we're gonna go about trying to retrofit that. I'm gonna do a DIY for you guys. Hopefully it works out. If so, if you see this on YouTube, it's because it worked out. So I've actually been doing a little bit of the wiring already. So hopefully my wiring is about the only thing that I feel like is sketchy, because I did use depend an old harness. So hopefully this will work out. But again, if this is your first time coming to the channel, please make sure you like and subscribe. I want to keep trying to bring this type of content and all sorts of mods and content for you guys. So drop a comment, let me know what you guys would like to see next. But we're going to jump into this here on the DIY on this drive control module. All right, boys, so there's my beautiful 535. Love this car. So, but again, one of the main things that I do not like is the lack of drive control switch there. So you can see, yes, I still got to get that airbag. But again, if anybody's looking for a steering wheel, I have that stock steering wheel. Once I actually sell the stock steering wheel, then I'll replace that airbag as well too. So we've got that set up. Of course, this is another box of goodies. I know we talked about the 6WB in the past. Funny enough, I have a 6WB as well as the 6WA sitting in here. So there's the 6WA there. 6WB is there. So funny enough, I had all intentions on installing that 6WB. Come to find out that 6WB is actually shot. So it actually has an issue with the LCD screen. So we'll see. We might end up putting the 6WA in the car. But I'll give you guys, we'll get an update on that soon. But here's, of course, my laboratory here, my wires that I've been working on. I know I made this pin out probably extremely too long, but I'm not too concerned with that, and our drive control switch. So let's get started now. We're gonna start ripping apart the BMW to get to that drive control switch. I've got some instructions that I have up on my laptop. So we're gonna get to it now. Okay, fellas, so our instructions say our first steps are to remove the rear ventilation cover. It says that you're going to try pulling from the very top. So I started pulling there, and this has released now and it's come back. So as you can see here, it has clips here, and it allows it just to be pulled backwards. So that is now loose. It doesn't say anything about disconnecting this, but I may just disconnect it for ease so that I can just lift this up and move this out of the way. So that rear section is now disconnected. And then we're going to start working on removing this the foam insert cover here in the middle compartment. So we're going to move our camera around so we can see that. Okay, so hopefully this is going to be a good angle for the camera to catch here. But again, I have not done this before, so hopefully I'm going about doing this the right way. It just says that we're going to remove this cover, and I'm not 100% sure. I believe there's actually going to be, yep, if we pull this piece up here, that comes off, and there is a Torx bit right here that actually has to be removed. So that's actually where you actually remove the cover. So let me grab my Torx bits, and I apologize, guys, but it's roughly about 9 o'clock here in Oklahoma, and it is still hot outside. I think it was probably 90 today. So if you see me sweating, that's why it's trying to get this done in the garage. Don't have a lot of air circulation. Okay, so here we got our bolt out. That's why I always love to use these little magnets. They really help. So now that is out, we can remove this center section. And the way that you're supposed to do that is start actually lifting from the back here, moving forward. So we're gonna see if we can't get a good section here to kind of grip on. My little holder there is broken, so there we go. So that lifts up there, and of course we have connections here. So this is our connection for the control module that's there, we've got our parking sensor. We're gonna have to disconnect these first. Okay, so that one just was able to pull that one. Okay, both of those I was able to just pull loose. And then, of course, we've got our iDrive connection here. That one has a little, it's like a little depress button here if I can get to it. And I'll try to see if I can't follow up here with a second. Show you, okay, that one depresses on the sides. So you just squeeze in there. And then there's one here on the side that just pulls out, and that's a little LED for the light. So these connections here, I was just able to pull out. Like I said, the iDrive actually has squeezes on the side. I'm not sure if that's getting on the camera, but you just squeeze that. And then this one just basically pulled off the side as well too. So now I should be able to lift that up enough to kind of clear it and move it out of the way. There is other items that are plugged in down here, but not too concerned with that. I'm actually just gonna set that over to the side, so I'm not gonna worry about disconnecting that. Okay, so now that that is done, I can see that there's also another Torx drive bit that's right here. Let's see if I can move the camera so you guys can see that. All right, so we're gonna swing this around. There's another Torx bit that is, let's see where my finger, right here. That comes, so we've got to remove that one there as well. So we're gonna do that now. Now that that bolt has, that little hex T drive has been removed, now this actually just lifts up. So we should be able to kind of wiggle that up. See it lifting in certain areas here. Okay, we're gonna, I'm gonna do that a little bit of, up there it goes. So kind of wiggle that, start to come loose. But as you guys can probably notice, you've got your connections underneath here that are gonna have to be removed as well too. So I'm gonna disconnect some of those real quick off camera. Okay, well, I lied. So I said I was gonna disconnect that. I actually don't need to. I've got enough room to move that forward. And as you can see now down here, what we're looking for is this actually, this plug here. So what we need to do is get this to release. So we're gonna see if we can see how that's set up there. It's got a little button on the side that you should be able to press down. And when you do, so you see that so you're gonna press this button here. I don't know if it's coming into focus there. There's a button here that you press. Once you do, this can actually slide down. And now that that slides down, you should be able, it should release this plug. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Hard to do with one hand, so I'm gonna come back to you guys here in just a second. Okay, so we've got the connector released, but one other important step we have to do is when we remove this back cover, it shows these two bolts down here. So we're gonna actually use our another Torx to remove these bolts. And when we do that, it should allow us to lift up our center console enough to kind of wiggle that other the connector loose. So that's what I'm going to work on now. Okay, so I got those rear bolts taken out. That for me did absolutely nothing. I wasn't able to lift up this center console any further. I did get it loose, however. The way I did that was actually by using my pry bar and trying to, it's hard to see here, but what keeps it from actually traveling out easily is this little clip here, this little I don't know what that's called, but it's metal, and it's just kind of hard for the clip to come out around that. So I used the pry bar and just kind of pushed it down underneath that. One thing, this thing is nasty in here, so I might have to try to vacuum it out some. But okay, now we're on to the next step, which is going to be removing the cover on this. Okay, so I'm not sure how hard this is for you guys to see, but on this clip, there is actually, if you squeeze here on the inside with your fingernails, what will happen is you can release it and these will actually slide out from this clip. So we just got to remember that that's the way it goes back in, just like that, So it's hard to do with one hand, but we're gonna see, and we're gonna find the pins that we need to tap into, and we'll have this start working on reassembling. Okay, so this is really hard to see. I don't know if I can get it to focus. It doesn't look like it's going to focus for me. But what you'll see when you look at this, when you're actually doing this, is on this this left side, you've got numbers at the top: 54, 34, and 18. On the right side, it goes down from 37, 19, and 1. So what we're looking for is we're looking to tap into pin 31 and pin 45. So I'm going to figure out which ones those are and put the pins in there, and then I'll start working on reassembling. Okay, so I've got my new wires, my new pins inserted. I'm going to slip the cover back on, reinstall this connection, and then start putting everything back together. And then once we have everything back together, we'll go ahead and swap out the right connection, and then I'll show you, then we'll actually put the right pins on these connectors as well. So we'll get to that now. Okay, fellas, so we've got our rear console, our center console back installed. Now we're going to remove the bolts that are actually holding the switch in that we're going to replace. So from what I can see, got the new replacement switch here. There is one bolt here at the top and same one bolt at the bottom. Not sure what that was, it just fell off of here, but okay. So we're gonna do that real quick and get this old switch out. Okay, so now we're back to our wiring. So of course we have our two connections here. The black connection is for the parking sensor, so we don't have to worry about that. What we're looking for is this white connection here. So on the white connection, we're going to be adding our new pins into slots 4 and 5. So whatever you used for 31, which for me, I used the black wire, 31 is going to go to 5, 45 is going to go to 4. So that's what we're going to do now, is we're going to slide those in here. So my, let me see here, we're going to make sure, I'm not sure if it tells them. It looks like, I don't see where it's labeled here. So we're just going to assume at this point here that we're working backwards. So since we already have other slots filled, so one's going to be on this far end, 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 wires already in there, 4 and 5. So I'm going to take my red wire and I'm going to put that into my 4 spot, and I'm going to put the 5 is going to be the black wire. So I'm going to do that now. Since we are still learning here, just so you guys know, there is a little section here that actually needs to be lifted up. So if you can see that there, this inserts in that little slot. Yeah, I just took a little screwdriver and lifted that up. Now that it's lifted up, I should be able to slide the wires in. I was kind of struggling with that just a moment ago. So I'm going to get those wires slid in and then we'll go from there. Okay, boys, we're back in business. We've got our switch installed. Now the only thing to do is to reconnect our battery and make sure that we're operating. So I don't have to actually do any coding, because I've actually coded at least I don't think I do. I coded that sports transmission and those types of things on Bimmercode. That was the first thing I did when I received Bimmercode. So we're going to hook the battery back up and see where we're at. Okay, so we're gonna give this a shot, see where we're at. Okay, of course we're gonna make sure we got all that set back up. We'll see if we can do that later. I don't know. Yeah, so I hit the button. I've got Sport Plus. I can go back down to Sport, Normal. And so with my 2011 535, I don't have apparently a Comfort. That's just our normal, but I do have now Sport. It tells me sports oriented driving and Sport Plus. So I've been waiting for that, finally got it. So all right, fellas, well, that's it. So I know I'm hot and sweaty now. Like I said, been out here in the garage. It's probably still 85 degrees out here in Oklahoma, but we've got it working. Again, if this is your first time seeing the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. Love to have you guys as part of the community. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys would like to see next. Definitely want to keep trying to bring you guys some content. And hopefully we'll be able to put either a 6WA or a 6WB in the car soon. But again, we'll see you guys later. Stay healthy.